Hi everyone, I'm Ashutosh from Prodigy IS. This is a second or one of the first lectures you can say in the series of Understanding Public Administration. And in that series, we are going to cover a detailed understanding of the syllabus of public administration, its practical application, its overall impact on governance, and obviously its relationship with the other general studies papers. The basic idea here is to make a new student aware of the entire domain of public administration as an optional, what to expect from the study of public administration, and obviously at the same time, how can a student develop a pre-orientation for this particular subject. Every optional has its own uniqueness, and so is public administration. The only difference between other optionals versus public administration is that it is relatively new, not as new as artificial intelligence, but yes, relatively new, almost 100 years old in the galaxy of social sciences. And I would call it more as an applied science. It has always been viewed as part of a science-based study. Scientific study is the purpose of most of the options, most of the disciplines want to become scientific in nature, so that whatever knowledge or theory they develop, that becomes applicable. And that is where the public administration becomes unique with respect to other optionals. Public administration majorly explores how to govern the society in a better manner. That is its primary concern. Whether you study theory or you study uh, the application of that theory, the primary intent and the purpose of the study of this paper is to find out the best ways, the best means, the best methods to govern the society and achieve the goals of public interest, welfare, maximizing all those things. So, in that regard, right, we can take public administration as a new subject, new discipline. Secondly, a more practical, more dynamic subject. Third, it is not as complicated as other disciplines because they are more theoretically abstract. This is not abstract in nature. It is more based on day-to-day understanding of what is happening around us. Obviously, most of us are not part of the power system. We are not part of political system, but we are part of polity, no doubt. Whatever politics happens around us, we are affected by it. We contribute to that, but we are not directly part of the power system. So many things that we get to know in public administration will give us a direct insight into the administration that we are trying to do or that we aspire to do after qualifying civil services. So you can take it that way that public administration is a practical subject which will help you in understanding how the governments are governing the society and how it can be improved. So the purpose of theory of PubAd is that how to find the best way, the best method, the best explanation and description of how to govern better. So your paper one, or you can say the syllabus of UPSC, that is paper one, where the paper comes in two parts in the exam. As you know, it comprises of 8 questions. Question 1 and 5 are compulsory, 50 marks each. The entire paper is of 250 marks, so you can understand that you are given 8 questions altogether, and out of that you have to do 5, of which 1 and 5 are compulsory. So choosing any 3 questions out of the 2 parts, part A and part B. Part A dominantly comprises of theories of organization, theories of administration, and lot of developments that took place in American study of public administration. Part B becomes more generalized. Generalized in the sense it now explores the specific aspects of administration. For example, financial administration, personnel administration, that is how we manage human resource in the organization, that is civil servants. Administrative law, right? These are certain areas which you will study and you'll encounter them in the subject, and you'll actually start enjoying them, because that is what you're seeing around us, around you every day, right? The growth of tribunals, the growth of numerous laws which government is making to help citizens get better services, various laws which governments are making to make citizens more uh, or citizens trust their governments more, and administration become more accountable to the government, or sorry, to the citizen, or government becoming more accountable to the citizen. So that is one domain. So part A and part B, even though the questions are not that demarcated, first you have to understand. So questions will come from any of these units which are interrelated, and that is why the first 3-4 units plus certain other concepts, they become very important to decipher this entire paper. And it has to be done slowly, right? Not like a khichdi, right? But like a biryani. It has to be done slowly over a period of time so that you are able to develop that strong base which is needed to counter any vocabulary in public administration paper 1 or 2. So it is 250 marks, 8 questions. You have to attempt 5 questions. So you have a lot of liberty, but I would not say that you can neglect some of the parts. You can ignore a little bit, right? But obviously you cannot completely neglect. So you will have to be at least able to understand broadly the domain of the subject. But still, you can do very well, and you can get around 150, 160, 170. People have got 180 also in this paper. The only requirement of this paper is that you should be conceptually able to understand things and interrelate them, right? That obviously will be done as part of the classroom. That is the methodology we follow, right? And that is why our methodology is little descriptive, little detailed. Paper 2, on the other hand, can be taken as a different sphere. It is mostly the understanding of how the bureaucracy in India or civil services in India functions, how it has emerged, how it has evolved, and what are the different facets, what are the different dimensions of this administration which governs our society or which manages various services in the society. But here, there is one important relationship that emerges, that whatever we have studied as a theory in paper 1, right, do we have any use of that in paper 2? Yes, we have. For example, if you want to learn art of cooking, so let's say you go and study theory about cooking, right? So what exactly is the nature of cooking? What are the ingredients? How temperature works in cooking? How masalas are to be used? How flavors are to be understood? How the fragrance has to be smelt? Now that is a theory of cooking, right? Now you use this theory to make something, let's say palak paneer or whatever, right? So now this theory will help you understand that how you can practically use this knowledge in a specific dimension, right? So logically, whenever you are dealing with this paper, you have to think that studying concepts and then making these concepts more visible in paper 2 becomes a sine qua non, that's inevitable, right? So this orientation of public administration, we will take up further with the syllabus, first dealing with part A, that is first 4, 5, 6 units, and then with part B, and then with paper 2, we'll do the same thing. But for anybody who's trying to take up this subject, he should realize that this is one of the most pragmatic, most practical of the subjects. It is highly interlinked with your current perspectives and dynamics which are happening. Its theory will help you understand a lot of things that you study in general studies. Even if you're reading a Hindu editorial, the language that you develop in public administration will help you decipher that editorial more easily. Governance, policy paralysis, good governance, ethics in governance, accountability, transparency. Now you see the debates that you see in your editorials, they are dominantly moving around this, right? So you have to think that, okay, how practically you can use this subject to increase overall scoring in the UPSC. Obviously, we have always tried to nurture students in a way that they not only perform very well in public administration, but they also take the consequential benefits of this subject in other areas. right? Especially when you talk about ethics, polity, governance, society, and a lot of other areas, because ultimately everything deals with what? The management of society, the good administration of society, the reforms and the policies which are needed to fulfill the wishes and needs of the society. So ultimately, this subject has cross-disciplinary interlinkage. It has cross-functional boundaries overlapping with other subjects. And probably you can say it is like a salad bowl of various disciplines. And that is why it gives you that edge, because it makes you truly multifunctional, multidisciplinary, a generalist who is needed to govern or administer the society. You are working for a generalist civil services, right? That is what you are aspiring to be. So take that as one of the important contributions to your UPSC journey, that is public administration. It can very well contribute effectively. The only thing is that whether you are doing it in the right manner or not. Fine. So thank you so much for listening to me. This will be just one of the very brief introductions. We'll take up the detailed analysis in the later introduction, right? Or in the second orientation. Thank you so much. Keep listening to us. All the best.